Okay, so we spoke about the 4 execution policies: restricted, unrestricted, remote signed, and all signed, where remote signed and all signed depend on digital signatures. So what are digital signatures anyway, and how do they look like? So let me show you a script that has a digital signature in it. So if I go to C and go to Run, if I open this script, I have the script here, which is only 3 lines, and this is the digital signature, this whole block. It's called the signature block. Now, the digital signature gives 2 very important information. 1, it confirms the identity of the person who sent it. 2, it actually has a copy of this script in encrypted form. So basically, when you decrypt this, you will get that 2 information: the identity of the person who sent the script, or who signed the script, and it will also give you this script, exactly this one, when you decrypt it. So if a malicious software or a virus comes into your system, and if it modifies this script, something like, let's say if it adds delete space star, which will delete everything, then when PowerShell runs the script, let's say you set your PowerShell to all signed, and when you run the script, PowerShell will check if there is signature, and it checks the signature, and it will actually decrypt the signature, and it will compare to this block here. Now, in the encrypted signature, it will have only these first 3 lines. This line is added later. So when these don't match, PowerShell will not run the script. It'll assume that it has been tampered, it has been modified by some malicious software. So that is primarily why we use digital signature here. So how do you digitally sign your script? How do you put the signature inside the script? You cannot sit and type this one. To digitally sign a script, you first have to have a digital certificate. You can get a digital certificate by going to a certificate authority like VeriSign. There are multiple certificate authorities in the world. You can go to any one of them and first get a digital certificate for yourself or for your company who is going to sign this script. Then once you get that certificate, you actually go to PowerShell and use this command: set authenticate signature space. You type the certificate name, and then you type the script name, and once you execute this command, you will get the digital signature here. I'm not going to show it here. We will talk about that in advanced video series. For now, you can just understand that this is how you get the digital signature here. So once you get the digital signature here, then if you go and run, what your computer does is your computer will check who issued the certificate. So when PowerShell decrypts this, it'll understand who issued the certificate, and it'll also see the encrypted code here. This shouldn't be here. Encrypted script, and it'll also see who has signed the script. Basically, how it verifies is, if you go to Control Panel and if you go to Internet Options, under Content, you will see this Publishers. If you click Publishers and go to Trusted Root Certification Authorities, you have a bunch of root certification authorities. These are all digital certificates of root certification authorities, one of which is VeriSign, which I mentioned, and they are all installed in your Windows by default. So if your script is signed using the certificates issued by one of these certification authorities, then your PowerShell will trust the script, and it'll just run. I'll show you an example here. So I open Internet Explorer and type https://gmail.com. Now this is a secured site, so it should have a digital certificate. So if I click here, I can see the certificate. Click View Certificate, and it says the certificate is issued by Google Internet Authority G2. This is a certificate issued by Google Internet Authority, and your computer has trusted it and it opened it. So if you go to this Internet Properties, let me close this and put it here. Okay, if you go to the Trusted Root Certificate Authorities on your computer, if you check for Google Internet Authority G2, you will not find it, but still your computer trusts it. How? That is where you need to go into certification path, and if you see Google Internet Authority G2, this is signed by, or this is issued by GeoTrust Global CA. So GeoTrust Global CA trusts, or it certifies Google Internet Authority G2 is in fact who he is, and your computer trusts GeoTrust Global CA. So because your computer trusts GeoTrust Global CA, and because GeoTrust Global CA has certified Google Internet Authority G2, whatever certificates issued by this one will be trusted by your computer. Similarly, you don't have to go to the root certificate authorities to get a digital certificate. You can go to any of the franchisees or any of the companies that is certified by these root certificate authorities to get a digital certificate, and that should take care of it. You can also set up a certification authority server in your organization, and then you can sign it with that digital certificate issued by your company's certification authority, and that should do fine. But before you do that, you will actually have to have your computer to trust your company's global certification authority. You do that by going here and importing your company's certification authority certificate. So basically what these CA companies do is they don't check if the script is malicious or if it doesn't if it has any kind of virus in it. What they do is they will ensure that the identity of the person is verified and confirmed. So let's say I go to GeoTrust Global CA, and if I get a certificate for myself, for Arun Nair, then GeoTrust Global CA will ensure they do a good job in checking who I am and my identity and everything, and then they issue the certificate. So by trusting the certificate, you are actually ensuring that you are getting the script from the person indeed who think you are, and you also ensure that the original script is not tampered when it is sent. That is how you use digital signatures on PowerShell scripts. Now let's talk about PowerShell profile. So whenever you open PowerShell script, the PowerShell command line here, it opens in C users basic ping. Let's say I want to always, whenever open the PowerShell, I always want to open it in C:\Arun. So what you need to do is, if you go to Start, go to Documents, and create a folder here called Windows PowerShell. It should be without space, and here create a file called profile.ps1. Profile.ps1. And now if you put here C:\Arun, and if you save it and close. Now if you open PowerShell, it tried to go into that folder C:\Arun. It says the term C:\Arun is not oh, okay, sorry, I actually just put it as C:\Arun. I need to put it as CD C:\Arun. So let me edit that, and if I put CD space C: and type and click save, I close it, and now if I open Windows PowerShell, it opened in C:\Arun. So every time you open PowerShell, be it in this normal mode, and even if you open it in administrator mode, it is still going to check the profile folder to see if there is it is still going to check the Windows PowerShell folder in documents to see if there is a profile.ps1 file, and then execute that. Now every time you open PowerShell, it's going to load that profile.ps1. So let me make one more change. So let's say every time it opens, it has to run get process command. If I save this, and if I run PowerShell again, it runs every time you open PowerShell script, it runs this command. PowerShell command line runs this command. Now that is the reason why we really need to set the computer to all signed instead of even remote signed. You have to, if it is a production computer, you have to set it all signed, because anytime a malicious script can come and modify this profile file to include something malicious here, or if you haven't even set a profile file, it can come and create a profile.ps1 file and put some malicious things inside there. However, if you set it to all signed, then every time it opens, it's going to check if there is a digital signature, and then PowerShell ensures that it doesn't run if it is a malicious script inside.